Hello friends and welcome back to the Speak on Mom Scraps channel. It's Caitlin here with a how-to video. Today we're using our paper punches and our scraps and our beautiful sequins, don't forget the sequins, to create some great embellishment clusters, some very easy ones to be able to throw onto our layouts the next time we're able to craft. So I have a lot of pattern papers here. I think they're almost exclusively all pattern papers, but these are all ones that have been in my scrap bin for far too long. A lot of these are very large, so I'm going to show you guys today also how you can, if you wanted to use these together on a layout, say just like this with like a 12 by 12 white background, how you can sort of use some of the other elements, things that would be hidden to create an embellishment cluster. So like for these two examples, maybe I'll show you the finished layout as well of how you can incorporate, your ideas into scraps to make a full layout as well as to use them to make embellishment clusters for that layout. So let's get started with these two because I absolutely adore them together, just based off the top here. And these two papers are from different paper pads. The butterfly paper that you see here is from the Conservatory paper pad by Craftsmith, and this beautiful one here is from the DCWV blush paper pad. So like I said, if you were to layer them like this, say they're on a 12 by 12, your photos would go here. There's a lot of blank space here, right, that you'll be covering up, especially on this pink one. So to get started, let's punch something out of the pink one, pretending that we're going to cover it up. Obviously, you'd know what you'd be covering up once you start making the layout, but this is a great way to make coordinating pieces if you don't have embellishments for a certain paper pad, to start cutting things out so that you have them to use later. I think that's my first time using this punch, just to have some options. And as for this one, you could do something like gut it, so that way, if you knew what photos you're using over it, it'd be a lot easier. So why don't we pick out some photos? I'm going to go pick out some photos to put over here. That way I know what will be covering this up, and that way we can gut the paper. So let me go grab some photos, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've pulled out a photo to use. This is the day we adopted our two kittens. So they are in these carriers in the back of the car here. This was 2 Valentine's Days ago. So not this year's Valentine's Day, the day before that. And I've also pulled out a white 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, again, to give you guys an example of what this layout might look like in the end. And depending on how long it takes us to make our embellishment clusters, we might just do a whole process video as well, because I know you guys would like that. So realistically, I will mount this on some other papers, to give the photo some depth and dimension. So I'm going to look through my scraps over here because we might as well keep using what we've got out. And got some pink and some blues that kind of coordinate. Could do something like this. The blue and the red go well with this pattern paper here. Grab my adhesive. So I guess we'll do a process video how-to. So how to make embellishment clusters with your paper punches on a layout with your scraps, but to make them coordinate by using the scraps of the other pieces. It's going to be a long title. I have more scraps off to my side as well that I might pull from. These are just the ones I pulled out for the video. So I'd have some here. Okay, so we got one. This one is from, what was this collection? Flora number 1, I believe. The pink kind of clashes with the rest of them. We have this blue, which is the same pattern, just like a darker version of it, from the blue I just cut into. Got a 6 by 6 little pink piece. I think I really want something that's a little bit more plain or neutral, so I'm going to look through my scraps over to the right here. See what we have. There's this one. Bring in more of that white. I don't think I really want the gold polka dot though. Let's see what else we have. Bright pinks, some more florals, but they don't really match. Again, more florals, lots of floral scraps. That's something I work with often. I have this one. This isn't a scrap, it's just an excess from a different kit. I don't know if you guys remember that. But we have the basics down here, sort of what it'll look like. I imagine it'll be in the center here. Let me move some of these out of the way, but we'll come back to the punches, don't worry. So if it's going to go in the center, I'd probably pull in a doily as well, only because the photo doesn't take up as much room as I normally would like it to. You know, I was looking to try to have 2 photos on here, but I couldn't find one from that day that matched, you know, the same vibe as this photo. So let's look at our Spiegelmom Scraps doilies here. I think this is one, it might be 2. Feels like one, but you can never be too sure with doilies. So if we put this here, then we sort of know how much we can cut out of the middle of this beautiful floral butterfly paper. So once you know where you're going to place it, the easiest thing to do if you're trying to gut paper is to make pencil marks on it. That way you don't overcut, because obviously we only have this small chunk that we're going to be cutting out. So I'm just going to make marks, not too close to the edges either, because you do want your photo to be able to stick to something, but it'll give us enough to create embellishments out of it that coordinate perfectly with our set here, with our layout. So my pencil marks are very difficult to see, but they're there. And since I'm paranoid about this sort of thing, I'm going to cut them a little bit less than I originally intended. That way, if I did happen to mismeasure, we can still manage to make it work. If you had a lot of different photo layers beneath your photos, some paper layers, you'll be able to cut a bigger portion out of your other papers. So it's really up to you what you do. And you can also cut these out with an X-Acto knife. You don't have to use a trimmer. But now I have this little peekaboo hole, and as you can see, there's our other ones there, which I think is kind of funny to look at. But if our doily covers it up mostly, then our photo can cover up the rest of it. So it looks something like that. So now we have a small thing to work with. Obviously, if you have more photos, you'll be able to gut more of the paper and therefore have more to work with. But we still have a ton of the pink background to work with if we need it. Now, if you have a pattern like this, you might want to cover up more of it so you can have stuff to fussy cut out. Here, I could fussy cut out a couple of these things, but I think I'm just going to stick with it for my embellishment clusters over here once I figure out what those are. But you can also just trim this down. Obviously, it doesn't need to be this large. It just happens to be what size the scrap was, so I was kind of rolling with it. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to start making some embellishments to go onto our page. Now, when I start to make embellishments, I usually have my sequins ready, my punches ready, especially when it comes to scraps, as well as a sticker book ready. So I think I'm going to pull in my Jen Hadfield sticker book at the ready, because I think it just adds a little bit more. You know, you get those little word stickers, you get the phrase stickers, you get the shapes you need, all of that in one place. So I usually have a sticker book ready as well. So looking at these different pieces, I almost see these two working together, and then, or these could all be different ones. But I want to be careful about what I choose to do with this, since obviously we only have one of them. So let's see what we can sort of work with here. So I could get some nice florals out of here with this. No time like the present then to cut some things up. So this could go on foam, adhesive, you know, work that way. Definitely could fussy cut some stuff out. I'm not a huge fan of fussy cutting, but I know a lot of people are. Perfect time to start fussy cutting is when you have embellishment clusters to make. So those are just some things I've thrown together. Now let's look through our sticker book here to find some things to really tie it together, you know, to give it a little bit more of a base, give some solid structure, and to bring in more of these colors that are on our pages already. So these beautiful pink butterflies that I like. And I'm going to trim this. little sticker here. And I can use the rest of it on my page somewhere. I'm just going to set it there for now. It's like a dusty rose. And then this can still sit on top of it. I'm thinking foam adhesive like I said before. Still thinking that. We could bring in some gold. Everybody loves gold. There's no metallics on this layout yet. And if you do a gold title, that'll tie it in nicely. So just kind of thinking of what might look nice and add that dimension and texture you might be looking for on a page. That's kind of what you want to add here. Those look nice together. So this one I kind of want to do something similar probably. I really like the shape of this one, this leaf in particular. So this one's going to go off the edge a little bit, which again, I showed you guys in a previous video how I deal with that using my powder tool or using additional cardstock. Really depends on the mood you're in, if you want to have clear stickers or not. So we still have this little circle here. I'm wondering if I could incorporate one of these frames with it. Let's see what else we have. Some more washi strips. Some more frames. Bringing in more of that dusty rose color could be a good choice. These are also great pieces. So I think I want to punch something out of here for the base of this little guy. This is a little bit crooked. Just gonna fix that up. There we go. So I'm thinking just another circle, you know, to kind of just have it stacked, but I don't have one that's small enough. So I might have to go for the 1.5. Which should fit anyway. There we go. We got more of that butterfly in there. And this one I'll stack right here. Again, maybe some foam adhesive. Not 100% sure what I want yet, but we'll see as we keep making the layout. And I could bring in some gold on this one. I'm not going to use that one, actually. There's only one of those, so I'm going to save that. But we could use a heart, because it says my heart is full. Let me grab the foam dots here so I can show you guys what I mean. When I'm talking about dimension, foam dots are a great way to go. So it'll be like that. I'm going to grab my powder tool because we've got some sticky things to de-stickify before it gets too crazy. And this just simply has some baby powder in it that helps get rid of the stick. And then this will still layer up there. You've got this one. And again, it'll layer right there. And then there's this one. So let's see what else we can add to these before we finish them off with our sequin texture that we love. Thought about adding that heart. It's a little bit too much. Let's see what else we have here. Got some more gold. Could use, these butterflies are quite large, so they're a little bit more difficult to use. These little gold frames could look nice. Gives you like a date spot or a journaling spot. I can't journal much in that little box, but you know, similar idea. That you could do something like that there. Some greenery. I'm kind of avoiding the green. There's a lot of green in the pattern paper, so I don't really need that. These words would be great as well to include. I'm going to put this up on foam adhesive too before I forget. Looks like I'm almost out of the foam dots, so after I'm done using these, I'll have to start cutting up the foam in between the dots, which is a little bit just more tedious then. Okay, and then that'll attach like that. Let's glue that down. I'm going to glue this one down as well before I forget and get too crazy with my embellishment clusters here. But you can see they add a lot of texture and dimension when you start adding foam adhesive, and you'll see even more added when I start putting on the sequins. But I think we're almost done building these three little guys, and these will be the basis for our clusters. On the actual page itself, we might add a few more stickers in around them, to make them look like they're a main part of the layout. Do a quick flip through the last pages here, but I don't think there's anything I really want to add. I'm always a fan of looking at extra word stickers though, just in case. I thought about putting this one up on foam adhesive, but I think I'm just going to go with regular adhesive, just because they're all on foam adhesive. I think it'd be a little bit too much. But I think that's going to be pretty much it. So now I have to de-stickify this last sticker here. Little label. There we go. But there's three little embellishment clusters that we can now use on this page. I don't know where I'm going to put them yet, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out, don't worry. Making sure we cover up the centerpiece there. Kind of thinking about tucking this a little bit under. And I like how it has like the pattern like continues, but like this is raised up, so it makes you, look a little bit longer. And I like this one down here. I think I'm going to glue down the main paper layers so that way we don't have to worry about them shifting during decorating. So this will be towards the bottom half of the page to give it a little bit more weight on the bottom. And this goes up more towards the middle centerpiece. And again, we definitely could have cut out a bit more from the center, especially if you make more paper layers. It'll work out better if you need more. But that depends on your style and what you want on your layout. Got some extra adhesive there. Don't want that. Glue down our doily to cover up the majority of the open abyss that's in the middle here. And then this will go right here. Definitely could have done more photo layers, but we're working with scraps and sort of just kind of winging it with the design. Okay, now if we start bringing in our clusters, see where they'll fit. They could even be put up on foam again, definitely an option. Move this up so you guys can see the last one down here. We have this little bit of butterfly washi again that I wanted to use again, so I think I'm going to put it down here with this cluster, just making that element repeated so it feels more cohesive. Could do some washi tape strips along these edges, could have done a lot of things, but I think this is going to be where the embellishment clusters go. I don't think I'll need too much more besides these, but I think I am going to go back in with the sticker book, add a few more glittery things, and then we're going to add the sequins to the entire layout. Definitely could have done them individually on these embellishment clusters, but this works out nicely as well. I'm going to put this all the way to the corner, I think. That way it doesn't line up as well with this one. And this one down here needs some adhesive. Okay, so let's look through our sticker book to add the finished touches before the sequin finale. So like I said, definitely bringing in more of those gold elements will help make it feel like it's part of the layout. Not that they don't right now, but I definitely could do more to be a little bit more cohesive. This is a very delicate sticker here. Trying not to harm it. But that's not working very well. Gives it a little bit more dimension because it's coming off the... I just ripped this butterfly, no. Don't worry, it looks okay. Oh, the gold on the white looks so pretty. And these butterflies will 100% have sequin trails, don't worry. It's something I love to do when I have flying critters on my pages, is to do sequin trails because I think it just looks so, so cute. Some frames, we got some cute pieces, some more labels. Don't think we need those. I don't think I want to add any more florals. I think it's quite floral as it is, so I don't think we need those. Don't want to bring in the green like I mentioned before, or the black. We have a very light layout going, so I want to keep up that, you know, pastel feel. I like these scripty stickers. I know I'm kind of off camera here, but let me try to move it in more. I like these script stickers, but I'm not sure I could make them fit anywhere. Let's try this one. It works. It does blend in a little bit, but I kind of like that it's a little hidden. It just says grateful. I stuck it on that embellishment cluster there. Maybe some more word stickers. See how the embellishment clusters just look like they were part of the layout? You know what I mean? Could have tucked some of these frames underneath the embellishment clusters if I wanted to, before we stuck them down, that is. Again, don't want to do any of the darker colors. I'm kind of focusing on the pinks and the light colors here. Some more of these. Could use one of these as my title if I want a small title. I got some more butterflies I could use too. I kind of like a simple title like that. I definitely think it's pretty. Another thing I want to do is each of these have gold florets off of them, so I'm going to make sure this one has at least one, you know, tie in that cohesiveness. My triangle's a little bit wonky here, but it cuts across the middle still, so that's good. Thought about using more of these butterflies, but I don't need more butterflies. But I also love butterflies, so like, well, I added that one, so 2 butterflies never hurt anyone. But I think that's going to be pretty much it, and then the sequins will tie everything together. We did a simple title up here, nothing too crazy, but I think that's going to, maybe I'll put this here. Not crooked, it's crooked. It's also not really the right color, but I just ripped the paper, so now I have to put something there. So it's gonna stay there. Should add another one, shouldn't I, for better growth, or for better cohesion. I just read the word instead. Okay, we're done being sticker book happy. Now we'll move on to the sequining. So I love to use sequins as the final touches on my pages, as I'm sure many of you do. Many you do. Strawberry Tart, that's one of the newer releases. Really, really, really pretty. Confetti Burst also might have some colors we want. I really love the pink that's in Music to My Heart, but it looks like it's already in Strawberry Tart, so I don't have to worry about that. I love the flowers that are in Elegant Winter, and now those are in Strawberry Tart too. Isn't that so exciting? Now I do want to get something that has some gold in it, because gold is a prominent theme on this particular page. So let's see. Sunflower Sparkle, Rainbow Bright. We also have the Rose Gold Glory. Like, how pretty is that? That has some beautiful pinks in it as well. But let's get started with these guys up here, and we're going to start sequining the heck out of this page to make it look like the star that it is, because it is going to be such a pretty layout, especially once all the sequins are added. So let me grab my fine line adhesive and we can get to sequining. I think I'm actually going to start with Strawberry Tart because I really want to use some of these dimensional floral pieces. They're so, so pretty. And they add like a subtle look, especially if you put them on top of like white. But they add so much dimension. And so fun. A few more. And up there. All the flowers for all the clusters. Because why not? So I'm going to start gluing these down. I just use quick dry adhesive from Scotch in my fine line bottle here. But like I said, this picture is from when we adopted our kittens last year. We've had them for just over a year now. They were a year ours in February. I'm going to try to tame this doily here. It's a little extra tall today. There's also these itty bitty little pink floral sequins, which are just so precious. I'll pull out some of those as well. I think my main problem with sequins is that I want to use all of them all of the time. And you can't use all of them all the time because then it'd just be sequins everywhere and no photos. Which I could see myself doing, to be honest. Just covering everything in sequins. Okay, this pink works really well too. Pull those out. Got like a translucent pink as well. I don't really like that one for this particular page. I like the dimensional cupped sequins. I think they add a lot more. Because this page is lacking a little bit of dimension because I didn't do as much foam adhesive as I probably normally would have. Thinking on the fly, guys, so don't worry. I'm trying to pull out some more of these little itty bitty flowers. I'm also spilling everything everywhere. Normally I dump these into a cup. Don't know why I didn't do that this time. Oh, we also have these ones. I love the semi-translucent pinks. They're just so pretty. I feel like I look at sequin mixes and then discover new pieces in them every day. It is insane how Jody mixes these. Makes them so, so pretty. So these little florals here are just so precious, and they're a lot flatter than the other ones. So if you're looking for something that's a little flatter, these are the ones that are probably your ideal. And it looks like that one's growing on that vine. Like, oh my gosh, so cute. And it's just a light, light pink. So there's those ones. I think we just need a few more. I think I might go into Confetti Burst again. They have some of the light flat pink ones that I just mentioned were in Strawberry Tart, which I think are so pretty, and they usually come in a bunch of different sizes, which I also appreciate because I like to do multi-size sequin clusters. So there's one of those small ones. Again, dumping these into a dish, probably the easiest way to go about getting what you want out of the mix if you're not dumping the whole mix. But as you can see, I like going on treasure hunts to find the one that I need. So let's see if we can find any more. Maybe we'll just get our cup out if I can spot it. My craft room is a current disaster, but make it work. We also have some of these little pearl hearts. which I think are darling, and now I have to use one. They match pretty well. So I think I'm gonna have to use it. The question is, where am I gonna put it? I kind of liked it tucked up in here. Let me glue this one down before I forget that it's there. Sometimes I forget sequins are, I put them somewhere and then I forget where I put them, and then I come back and then they fall out because I picked up the layout. Just gonna put it on top of this cluster. A nice little sign off for that cluster. So here's another baby pink. I already forgot where I put the other ones. Oh, there's one up here. This is how I normally go with sequins. I just start gluing them down. I don't place all of them before I start gluing because I know that I'll keep all of them. And I created a butterfly trail down here, which looks really, really cute as well. But I think I don't need any more sequins, but do I want more sequins? Of course. I like how these white ones just add a little bit of shine. Do you know what I mean? Like they just glint in the light, but without adding the color. Sometimes you don't need color, you just need something that is textured or, you know, different. Sometimes I add too much adhesive, but that's okay too. Okay, I think almost all the sequins stayed in their correct buckets, but that's the finished layout, guys. So we did a whole layout. This is probably around 30 minutes long, which is pretty good, granted. We did so much. And I apologize for the different lighting streaks that come across. My blinds are not the best at blocking out all the light, but you guys can see here, gold foil, dimension, texture, all there, all super fun. I love those little pearl hearts, how precious. Don't forget, you guys can use my code Caitlin15 for 15% off your Spiegel Mom Scraps order. And if you have any questions about this layout, let me know. I know you guys wanted to see me make embellishment clusters and use them on some pages. Here I did both. I made them and then put them on some pages. Definitely an easy way to do it is to do it while you're making the page, especially if you don't have anything that coordinates with these papers. Like, these are just paper pads. Nothing really comes with them. So this worked out great. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Spiegel Mom Scraps channel so you guys don't miss out on videos from me or any of the other sparklers that are coming up this month and next. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!